Hey everybody, so today we're going to talk about the Skipping Stone bow. And this legendary is actually my favorite bow in the game right now. It's probably my favorite ranged weapon in the game. Because with this bow, one headshot doesn't just hit one enemy, it hits multiple. And that means that you can clear groups way faster than you're supposed to. So let's break down the Skipping Stone bow and why it's still one of the strongest ranged legendaries. So the Skipping Stone bow is a legendary in Yote, and its entire identity is built around one mechanic: headshots ricochet to nearby enemies. So instead of just getting value from just one shot, you're getting value from multiple enemies at the same time. And that completely changes how you approach range combat. So what does this legendary actually do? So the legendary power on it is that it headshots ricochet to a nearby enemy. So basically, that's what that means. Whenever you get a headshot, it can hit one or two enemies extra next to the person that gets headshotted. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty useful. On the first property, I have Yumi damage on it, but you have a number of different options. Yumi is the type of bow that this is. You can also have speed, you could have stability, you could have all range speed, you could have all headshot damage, you could have spirit gain, and then on the second property, you could do all range damage, ultimate gain, ultimate damage, spirit move, thrown weapon damage, perfect parry window. So you have a lot of options here. But as far as how I use it, these are the two that I like the best. For the perk, you have critical release, which basically is that power that when you get your bow ready, when you pull the arrow, you get a glint. And then if you let go at that moment, you do a lot more damage with the shot. I think that's the most useful one. Silent arrow doesn't really seem very useful to me. It's just you make the arrows quiet, so I guess you could stealth more, but doesn't really seem worth it for what we're doing. Um, you also have iron grip, which means that you can hold like you can have the arrow ready for as long as you want. Again, doesn't seem as useful. And then disarm arrows is the other one that I think would be okay just because you can disarm enemies from a distance. But of course, this is personal preference, but I like critical release. I think it's the better one. So here's the idea. You land a headshot and that arrow bounces to another enemy nearby. And depending on positioning, you can actually hit multiple targets from one single shot. So now, instead of focusing on raw damage or speed, you're focusing on positioning and target selection. Because the more enemies you group together, the more value you get from every single shot. And this is where this bow becomes really strong because first you get multi-target damage. You're not just hitting one enemy, you're spreading damage across a group. Second, you get efficiency because every arrow does more work, which means you get faster clears, you get less wasted shots. Third, this bow scales with skill because the better your aim is, the better your positioning is, the more value you get out of this weapon. This is one of those legendaries that rewards could play quite a bit. But of course, it's not perfect. First, you need consistent headshots because if you're missing, you're losing most of the value of this legendary. Second, it depends a lot on enemy positioning. If enemies are spread out, you're not getting those ricochets. And third, it's not as effective in single target situations. This bow really shines when there are multiple enemies grouped together. This bow is at its best in group fights. Think survival waves, think cluster enemies, think choke points. Anywhere enemies are close together, this becomes extremely strong. And the key is to aim for the right target. You're not always shooting the closest enemy, you're shooting the one that gives you the best ricochet value. That's where the weapon really starts to feel broken. For example, if you have two weak enemies and a very strong enemy, you can just headshot the strong enemy, you can whittle it down, and then just by inertia, you will kill the weaker enemies that are next to him. So overall, where does the Skipping Stone bow sit? I mean, for me, this is easily the strongest and most consistent range legendary. It rewards good aim, it rewards good positioning, it rewards smart play. So if you're landing headshots and playing around in groups, this can feel completely broken. Now, if you're missing shots or if you're fighting single target, it's a lot less impressive. Still, if you're looking for a powerful, skill-based bow, this is absolutely one of the best options. Now, let me know in the comments if you're using this and what legendary you want me to cover next. That's it for today's video. If you found this video helpful in any way, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you like this video, send it to your friends. If you hated this video, send it to your enemies. I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.